Hello, everybody. Good morning to you. I trust that you're all doing well. Hey, my name is Yaa'S. I welcome you to Auntie Yaa'S Book Corner. It's a Saturday Facebook Live, and we have a very interesting topic for you today. I trust that, everything is going well with you. Give me a second, and I'll see if I can start sharing to groups. The month of June is almost over. Didn't we just start the month? I mean, each time we come on, I'm so amazed. I keep talking about just how quickly time is flying. I don't even want to say it anymore because really, what do you call it? The year is now almost half gone. And you probably would have started out with all kinds of grand plans. And in fact, the topic that we have today may lead you to think carefully about where your life is going, especially if you've come from another place to live in the diaspora. So I'll keep quiet and do some sharing, and then we'll come back and continue the program. All right. Hopefully you're having a good weekend. The weather we've been having strange weather over at my end. Today it rains. Tomorrow the sun is out. Yesterday was very beautiful, so I was able to go for a walk, but it's not always the case. It's rained most of this spring, summer, I'd say. All right, so let me see. There's one more thing I need to do. So basically, when I'm not sure, but it's so important in life to have a goal, to have goals really. And if you don't, it becomes another story. I'm trying to I'm trying to, what do you call it? When I talk and share, it's a different ball game. Oh no, give me a second. Yeah, so it's not the easiest thing to do, but you got to make sure that you are always okay, I'll just leave it like that. It's not going as I want it to. I'm trying to share on TikTok. Give me a second. I'll go back and redo this. Okay, so let's get this started. Let me show you our topic for today. So our topic is diaspora living, the power of your associations. Now, why this topic? Listen, we've seen a whole lot in recent months. The context of this is this. We make a decision to move from our countries of origin to come to a different place to live. There's different reasons why we come to these places, but by golly, I'm sure that the main aim is to come for a better life because those spaces provide better opportunities than where we think we come from. But when we come to these spaces, do we learn? Do we benefit from what is around us? Are we changing? Are we becoming better? If not for anything, are we? Do we think in futuristic terms, in terms of the people who are, what do you call it? The people who are coming after us, as in our kids, right? Because if you think that way, if you think that way, it will make you take better decisions for better outcomes. But hello, sis. Thanks for joining us. I hope so you are doing well. So we come here and the environment does not seem to rub off on some of us. Why is that so? This is why we're having this conversation today. And then again, someone might say, well, if people don't want to change, what business is it of yours? But think about it. If you empower yourself, if you educate yourself, if you engage in continuous learning, it benefits yourself. You become an asset to the society, and your kids after you also become an asset. Yes. Give me a sec. There's somebody I forgot to tell that I was on, so let me do that quickly. So it's beneficial, really. It's beneficial, really, to be able to. That's good, no worries. Yeah. So then again, to when we think about it, the people that you come to meet have a great impact on what you will become. What do I mean by that? So the topic is diaspora living, the power of your associations. I like to define things. So let me tell you what association basic terms means. It's the company you keep, how much time you spend with them. Yeah. It plays an important role in what one becomes in life. Why? Well, when we say the power of your association, so associations, the people you spend time with, right? Yeah. How much time you spend with them. So then, if we say power of association, what does it mean? Well, these people that you have around you, they influence or have an impact on your mindset. Think about it. I was going to speak to you and say, okay? They influence your actions, your health, your behavior, your attitude, your habits, your character, your personality, and your values. Yes. Hello, Nanaraba. Thank you, thank you. Wow, enjoy your party, eh? Thank you for all the good work. I appreciate it. Mwah. Okay, so in light of what I just said, what comes to mind? Birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, my book coach, Dr. Fred Jones, he says it this way: ain't going nowhere, can't tell going there how to get there. People who are not trying to get where you are going, they can't help you. all they can do is put down your effort. So these things that we've talked about, they intend influence your performance, your success, your well-being, and your happiness. Yeah. So you become more and more like the people that you spend time with. Yeah. So let me read you some quotes, okay? You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, by Jim Rohn, Rohn. I'm sure you've come across him in your readings, perhaps. Let's take that again. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That tells you a lot. And then here's another quote that I came across. A man only learns in 2 ways. One, by reading, and the other by associating with smarter people. I posted that on TikTok this week by reading. So, Mikrom, for there's this urban myth or urban legend that says that if you want to hide something from Obibinia, put it in a book. We don't like reading. Even there's the option of audios, but do we even go for it? Yeah. And then this last one, I kind of think it might be a Ghanaian because the last name, it says the rise or fall, success or failure of your dream is largely depending on the association you build yourself around, by Israel Moore Aivo. So, hello, thank you for joining us, Abana. You're welcome. So you see, I've read these quotes. The people that you associate with makes a whole lot of difference. And you've heard me, Sister Joyce here, we've done programs together, so she'll know what I'm talking about. I make these comments of today is Saturday, for example, it's a classic example. Are you on this day maybe doing something with your family that will benefit them? Like summer is out. Like, are you taking your kids swimming somewhere to a park or taking a drive somewhere? Or are you leaving your kids home to follow some friend to go and find clothes or to go and try on clothes for that outdooring or whatever it is that you are going? Hello, Eunice. Welcome, welcome. I hope say here. So the association that you keep, the classic example that I've given is that you have a day off and a friend comes, oh, I want to go here to the African store. I need to go and get this. Then I have to go there. Bessie, come and go with me. And you know that you have to sit down and look at some school applications or some critical information about something that you want to do. But because you are not strong enough, you are not able to resist and say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm busy today, maybe another time. Peer pressure. Wanna belong for wanna be. So you go along and you are wasting your time. So the associations that you keep, yeah. Nanaraba said, my perceptions are changing, more intuitive, more assertive, more bolder, no katasumwe, more grit, tenacity, and nerves of steel. 2 women are associated with help me greatly. Thank you, Madam Atobre and Mrs. Sasu. Sister Ajuaju too. Thank you. I take this is what I'm saying. I just did a video this morning, but you'll probably see it in the next 2 weeks. And I was talking about Paul. In the Bible, he and Silas, they took a spirit out of a girl who was being used by her master, like divination stuff. And so they put them in jail. And in the night, there were earthquakes and things happened. And the jailer almost wanted to kill themselves, but Paul led them to salvation. The next morning, the magistrate sent people to come and say, oh, let them go, release them. And Paul says, you whipped us in public. You did this, you did that. Now you want us to go quietly. So, I'm an old lady. I started this story now. I've forgotten why I was even telling the story of Paul. But like the courage, to stand up to things. This is what we are talking about today. Let's see. She says, thank you. When I remember why I started the Paul story, I'll come back to it. But it's a lot. It's a lot because I sound like Biden, don't I? Biden was doing this debate with debate with Trump, and he couldn't hold it together. He was just losing his train of thought all over the place. So they are quite worried about him. But hey, it comes with age. So that's what's going on. Like these associations, no, you need to want to be better. like Nanaraba is saying, right? We have made an impact on her. Somebody also is making an impact on us. At every point in time, I go back to the Will Rogers quote: a man only learns in two ways, one by reading and the other by associating with smarter people. We've said on this platform many times, I'm sure you've heard it too, that if you are the smartest person in your group, you need to move move to higher level, go find, because then you are not growing, because everybody is looking up to you, but are you growing? So Adjoa says he was sleeping or such a disappointment to a sitting president. So yeah, we'll move on. So if you've just come on, we're talking about, the topic is diaspora living, the power of your associations. You make a decision to move to another country for a better life, greener pastures, as we call it. But when you get there, is it making an impact on you? Is the society rubbing off on you? You've heard me say many a time that I had to take away the bad, the not so good values from where I come from, Ghana, take the good ones, mesh it with the good ones from here, and then live my life. But some of us come here and we do not change. We are stuck in a rut, in that same old mode. Let me give you a classic example. The way we were raised. Parents don't want to listen to the truth. You speak the truth to them, they are adults, so they think that it doesn't matter what you say, they are always right. When you come here in this system, the freedom, the liberty, are you going to do that to your kids? If you don't take time, your kid will end up somewhere and give you a headache for time immemorial. So a lot of people, I've heard people who coach young people make these comments that the kids open up to them and tell them all kinds of things that they wouldn't tell their parents. So why are we so rigid? Like, just relaxing a little to be on the same level and understand and listen to your kid. Does it make a difference? Does it take away your adulthood? So these are some of the things that we need to be careful about. So we described what association was, power of what that means, and then we're going to talk about how the association influences your association. So these people who you're associating it with, what is their value system? What are their principles? What are their motto in life? Ain't going nowhere, can't tell going there, how to get there. So if you're associating with people who don't have any vision except go to work, come home, go to work, come home, on Friday go and kill, on Saturday go kill a goat, go to parties. Meanwhile, they've left their kids to their own devices. Things are happening in the home that they don't even know about. How is that improving your life? And meanwhile, you've lived here for how many years? 19 Kojohoho years, but you are still the same. Nothing is changing for you. Maybe you like it that way, but what about your kids? Do you think it makes sense to be living in a 1-bedroom apartment or 2-bedroom apartment, all squished in there with 3-4 kids, and then you are building a 10-room mansion over there? That's over there, and this is over here. Sometimes we need to get it straight. I've lived in different neighborhoods. Some were not so good, but like not so good. I didn't live in the wretchy places, but I'm saying that there's places that when you are in a communal setting, you look at some of the kids around, some of the stuff going on, you tell yourself, this is not the place for us. So we moved, so that when we come here, we don't seem to have any high standards. We think that, oh, because we are black, we are before, there's nothing for us. I never thought about the possibility of, say, I could own a home. Oh, for me, it's like, oh, if I can rent a townhouse with 3 bedrooms and upstairs, downstairs, that was it for me. So look at how I was thinking. But you need to put your kids in good neighborhoods so that they too can enjoy life. I mentioned before thank you. I mentioned before about this gentleman that we knew in one of the churches. Hello, Mommy. Yeah, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I mentioned before in one of the churches that I went to, there was this guy, I believe he's from Ethiopia. He said he bought an RV so he could go on trips in the summer with his kids, so that when the kids come back from holidays, these are Brofu kids. Oh, we went here, we went camping, we went to Europe, we did this. Then his kids too can also say that they also did something. We went to Vancouver, we went to wherever, Kamloops, somewhere, anywhere here in Canada. Some even travel cross country. It's all an adventure. Yeah. One of the videos I did for the next two, it will be on in the next 2 weeks, is about taking a holiday from my unapologetic self. And I have this, my dear friend from Sierra Leone. I remember she went to one of the schools. Was it Kamloops or Kelowna? I think it was Kamloops. And she said her husband would be driving her to school from Alberta in the province of Alberta in Canada. When you're driving to British Columbia, the next province over. British Columbia is the westernmost province in Canada, so we are next. Yeah, when you're going east, Alberta is next after British Columbia. And I have never done that drive. I don't think I can. The steep, is winding, whatever. And then summertime, my friend will say, yes, she sees all kinds of people on that road going on holidays, but she doesn't see Abby before. And I remember one time, it was in July, I was working, I had to travel to Calgary. So then the officer from our Calgary office, we had to travel to one of the First Nation reserves, which is near on the way to Canmore, so Stoney First Nation. So we're sitting in a restaurant waiting for our party that we're meeting it to arrive. And I'm looking, seeing all those cars, RVs, cars just passing. This is July, peak summer holiday month. Yeah, and I'm not seeing any Abby before. I mean, we're out there, but we don't explore our environments. Yeah. So the way these people like hard work, competition, if that's all that they are doing, that's all you'll be involved in. You don't want to do anything for you. You won't even say that, oh, maybe I can go do a trade. Let me go find out what it involves, right? And then also the other way they influence you, how much time do you spend with them? If you are spending 24/7, everything, you go and call them. There are people that, men and women alike, they don't take decisions with their spouses unless they've talked to their friends. Think about it. Influences. Yeah. And then also, how do they make you feel when you are with them? Do they make you feel hopeful? Do they make you feel hopeless, or they make you feel neutral? Listen, back in the day when I hadn't worked on myself, I probably didn't really know who I was. There was this so-called friend, because later they became very treacherous to me. And I thought I had somebody to talk to. So I'll be saying something about my relationship. Then one time she opens her mouth and she makes a statement and she's comparing. And so I had to stop her and say, listen, I'm not telling you my story for you to do a comparison. I'm talking to you because I'm thinking that you have a listening ear, you will listen. This is not the point of it. So after I've worked on myself years later, I told myself, there's something that I said. I think it's in my book, Reflections for a Thirsty. So I made the comment that sharing information, the people that you are sharing information with, are they mature enough to receive that information? It's not everybody that you tell your secrets or your stuff to. They can't handle it. And what they'll do with it, it will send you down the path of woundedness you might not recover. Sister Adjoa says, only a small percentage of African men think and act on going on trips with their wives and children. Most are too busy planning and conning their ways into meeting up with their side chick mistresses. Apu, sis, that is a whole other different topic. So how do people make you feel? It's so important. Why do you want to be around people who want to put you down, people who are jealous because you are trying to do something, and because they don't want to go anywhere, they poo-poo your idea, or they scoff at it. Now, cry, predodo. Mommy says so true. Predodo, what do you want to go and do? Yeah. The other point is, we're talking about influences of your association on you. What do you do together? What do you do together? Is it constructive or destructive? Let's think about that. If you're in a circle and all they can think or do is gossip, talk about people, how is that helpful to you? If you are bent that way, you'll think it's okay. You are in it, you'll be participating in it because you don't know any better. But if your antenna is up and alert, you tell yourself, I don't belong here. You start slowly to distance yourself or get out of it completely. Yes. So we've been talking about, what do you call it? The power of your associations. We've talked about what association is, the power of association, what it means, and how your association influences you. Now, I'm going to give you some case studies. Or, I came across this on the internet, but even then, I forgot to write down or to give, credit to who it is. But you can relate to some of the stories that I'm going to tell you. And then to even on social media, there's people that come and tell some of these stories, and it's just horrendous. Somebody's laughing, a laughing emoji. So one example is we're talking of how your association influences you. So the example that I said I saw on the internet is this lady. She had a friend, and the friend always kept talking about their exes, how they want to be back with them, reminiscing this and this and that. Then at some point, she found out that she was also feeling and thinking the same way. Hi, Lena. Thanks for joining us. She found out at some point she was also thinking the same way. So she's like, she had to stop herself. If you're around people and they're always swearing, chances are you'll start swearing yourself. I'm not somebody who usually swears, but I remember years ago, my work, I used to work in the social program. So we'd go to First Nations reserves to do reviews. And I remember we were traveling somewhere. We stopped on the Western to get something. And a colleague of ours is swearing. Before I know it, I was also talking. And so I'm like, hang on a minute, what? And I had to stop myself. So the people you hang around, they make a whole lot of difference. Sister Adjoa says the mindsets for most is dysfunctional and cannot even unlearn in order to relearn. It's a shame and pathetic. That is the issue. Unlearn and relearn. We're just stuck in that rut. Yeah. So that's the one case study about the person talking about their exes and the friend also being influenced, same thoughts patterns. And another says, yes, so some will give the benefit of the doubt, but omuntie a futu, so I will excuse myself. I will drink water and mind my business. You can't come and mess up my values. Thank you. Exactly that. It's like you put your boundaries in place and then you keep marching. Because some people don't want to change. It's a waste of time. If you have friends like that, that's why they say sometimes change your circles. But those friends, because they are not ambitious, they don't want to do anything, they are okay where they are. They don't know what the fuss is all about on your part. And so I've heard people say, my circle is smaller now, but I'm happier. Sometimes you need to, where we start from is this, you need to learn to love yourself, love your own company, so that when nobody is around, you can function. Some people can't be left alone at home by themselves. They always have to be in a crowd. It means there's still a lot of work to be done. Because if you're not careful and you don't own yourself, you don't do that work, you bend to anything and anybody. Yeah. So the second story, the second case study is about these people. I believe they were from our sister country, Nigeria, right? They lived in an apartment and they went to a party. And so all the guys in that place were security guards. And they told him that, oh, they'll link him up so that he gets a job. Oh, because they are before, there's no job for them except that. So this guy and his wife, they looked at each other and they go, no, I don't think so. They moved away. They were very cordial to the people. Oh, hello, hello, but they moved away from them. And then because they were not aspiring just to be that. They wanted to go higher, do some more. Yeah, let me read these comments and then I'll carry on. Sister Adjoa says, if you move with fools, you become a fool yourself. It's in Proverbs somewhere. On the other hand, when you move with wise people, you learn to become wiser. And Nanaraba says, yes, 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 love you, get to know you, and be happy being with you first. Even before you go, I want to get married. Oh, this. There are women and men are like that. When they marry, they don't even give their spouses breathing rooms. Oh, lovey, lovey, lovey. Insecurity. You need to be able to be separate, apart from him, and then you need to be able to be together. Anything else is obsession. Hello, Miss Sage. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I trust you're doing well. So the third case study is this example of a gentleman who was, he wanted to buy a home, a house, and he told a friend, an association, and the person goes, no, 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 it's not a good idea, blah, blah, blah. And they, put him off. A few months later, he meets another person. He talks about that idea. The person encouraged him, pushed him. He bought the home and he said it was the best decision he ever made. So think about it. A lot of us are stuck, not even because of our own making, but because we respond to other people's perceptions and opinions of who they think we should be. And we are so afraid because we don't, what Nanaraba says, love you, get to know you, and be happy with being you first. If you come to that place and that understanding, you're not going to let anybody hold you back or hold you down. And I mean, they can think whatever they want to. It's okay. At the end of the day, when you ask yourself, we've all come here to make a living. Does anybody pay your bills? Does anybody feed you? It's just we're having a human experience. So of course, we have to relate to one another. But if you are not good for my mental, physical, emotional, and social health, why should I keep hanging around with you? I won't be rude to you. I'm not going to stop talking to you, but the interaction will be minimized just for my own safety. Seriously, if most of us would sit down and have that awareness of owning who we are, and telling ourselves that I'm here, this is a life that I'm living, I am living it. I can take advice from people, but they are not going to influence me outside of what I want to do. Unless, of course, it's something that is not so good. But I'm sure that you get my drift. So those are the, what do you call it? The case studies, but I'm sure that we can come up with numerous examples. You hear all kinds of stories out there. Some of them are just horrible. I'll tell you my personal story years and years ago. Oh, here, give me a sec. Sister addresses the fact that many people refuse to learn and change their poor characteristics. It's not worth it to waste your energy with. No, not at all. Oh, hello. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad you were able to make it. And so my story is this years and years ago. I don't know. Since I've lived in Edmonton, I seem to have lived by malls. So I used to live by a mall called, well, now it's been torn down. There's a train station there. Excuse me. And then, so this was Heritage Mall, and I was taking the bus to Southgate Mall. Southgate Mall is still there. And Southgate Mall has a library there. So I met this when I came. I say in my time, the people that I came to meet, I say they're older people. So this gentleman in the community that I know, he knows my cousin. At the time, I lived with my cousin. So he says to me, well, where are you going? I said, oh, I'm going to the library. Do you know what he says? Oh, you may be in here. No, library. Why don't you stop going to this library and go and find some work to do? And I'm like, at the time, naive little me, I just laughed it off. But I said to myself, you don't know me. You don't know who I am. I've said before, my mom worked at Ghana Commercial Bank, High Street, and the library is behind the bank. So when we would go to visit her at her workplace, my sisters and I would traipse there and go and borrow books. So I'm somebody who's read all my life. So if I've come to Abrochiri and I'm going to the library and you are telling me I shouldn't go to the library. So if my mind is not what it is and I listen to him, so those kinds of things, the things that people speak into your life makes a whole lot of difference. Yeah. So at this point in time, I'm going to talk about awareness. Sister Yaa'S Russell I think she just finished work, so she might be joining us. I hope, yeah, because it's just 5 minutes past the time that she gave me. So let's see. We are talking about the power, diaspora living, the power of your associations. We've said a whole lot. Yeah, how these associations influence you. For me, this is what I believe, that when I meet you, I need to make you better than I found you. So if you meet me and you want to make me worse, then I'm not going to be around you, period. That's my decision, my choice. And sometimes the first time you meet a person, you are able to make that distinction. Is this person good for my emotional, mental, whatever health? And I go, okay, we're going to limit our interactions. Yeah. So we're talking about diaspora living with some of the attitudes that we have and the way we were raised back home, the timidity, whatever it is. Sometimes it's just pure ignorance. We don't know. Yeah. There are people who don't know and they are willing to learn. So they are able to overcome whatever barriers they may have and push in life, which is good. Because a lot of times, this is what I know back home, a lot of people are told, Wabon, you are this, you are that. But they come here and they are able to overcome it. So is the programming back there not so good? This address says there are so many who do not prioritize their emotional, psychological, and physical well being because they are more inclined to soothe others' desires instead in hopes of being accepted with societal norm. I I personally path my own way and move with those who add to my life. I do not move with the crowd because if push came to shove, they will drop me like it's hot. This is the thing. You have to choose. Don't be chosen. No. And prioritizing yourself, it's important, but what Sister Joy is saying here, more inclined to anytime I remember this statement of people soothing, hello, there she is. Onipani Nidine Nam, I was just talking about you.
Oh,
I
okay.
said, I said it's 5 minutes past the time you gave me, so you might join. So, um,
Anytime soon, right?
yeah, yeah. I've gone through, let me see. Like I talked about that's the topic, and then association, what it is, power of association, how your association influences you. Then I went through some case studies. This is where I got to. But if you have anything on the points below, you can go.
What is there? Awareness of the resources. Oh,
No,
shoot.
no, but
Okay.
I'm saying, sir, the things that I've talked about already. If you have any comments on those, you
Oh,
can
okay.
you
Okay,
can
okay,
give it
okay.
before I go to that.
Okay, I can maybe sum up like what I have
Yeah.
already. Yeah.
Hello,
Well,
Anita. Nice to meet you.
as I was looking up the associations and
Mm-hmm.
how they affect us, I saw something interesting, and it said like, association is just like flowers, cross pollinating, and that's how it's supposed to be. Like you supporting your associations, and then they supporting you or contributing to your
Hello,
growth.
Sister Afi.
So yeah, contributing to each other's growth, not just to your
Mm-hmm.
growth. And then, so that tells you that whoever you associate with can have an effect on you. And that's why
Mm-hmm.
it's important for you to be, um, let's say, picky or selective when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
people you associate with. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you either influence them or they influence you, or both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could go both ways. So, in picking out, especially in the diaspora, maybe I should use my example and my experience.
Mm-hmm.
I was lucky to have a very good friend whom I went to high school with. She's one of my best friends, and
Mm-hmm.
even before I traveled, as soon as I told her that I was coming to Canada, she gave me a list
Mm-hmm.
of things that I had to get. And one of the
Mm-hmm.
most beneficial one was my driver's license. She said, "Don't forget your driver's license."
Mm-hmm.
So I brought it, and I was with her family, and um, mostly in the Ghanaian community, even when people are trying to help you and you feel like, oh, I have support, they hold it over your head like maybe they created you or something even. So so everything they say you're supposed to do it, kind of,
Mm.
But with this family, I think I've said it here before,
Yeah.
their support was very genuine and still
Mm-hmm.
is. When something is able to last this long, then it was
Genuine.
genuine. Yeah, because
Yeah.
people are not able to really support each other for a long
Mm.
time and their issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as I was saying, at every point when I was out of status and all that, that driver's license that she made me bring
Mm-hmm.
really helped me because I had a Canadian ID, although I was out of status,
Mm-hmm.
so I could do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it comes to like advising, it's not like they're pushing it on you. They
Mm-hmm.
just suggest
Yes.
and then ask your opinion. It's that's what is missing in most of the associations that we know in our community. As long as they tell you, you have to take it. But
Yes.
healthy relationships are not like that. Healthy
No.
associations are not like that. It's not compulsory for me to, take whatever advice that you give me. I mean, we're all adults. I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
kid. You're not my mom. Even that, even that, we became rebellious. How much more? Just,
Yes.
yeah. So, hold on. I want to pack. Wait. Anyway, yeah. What else? I made some notes. Yeah. So, in choosing the associations, we have to have our qualities or our values in order to be able to choose whatever associate
Mm-hmm.
that would work for us. Because if it clashes with their qualities, that's when there's a lot of clash,
Conflicts.
and it doesn't really help or contribute to our well-being. So
Mm-hmm.
qualities like trust, equality is very important. The
Mm-hmm.
fact that you are contributing to somebody's well-being or somebody's whatever you're contributing doesn't mean that you're higher than the person.
No.
Yeah, in an association, everybody should be seen as an equal, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there should be honesty, and then independence. That also.
What? Independence?
Independence and
Don't you have friends who act like they own you? They have
oh
to
my
tell you what to
goodness,
do?
yes, especially in the diaspora. If they came here before you, means you have to
Ah,
do everything that they tell you. But
yes,
yeah, that's not a healthy one. You should get out of it as soon as you
yes.
can. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then the other side too, you can't be yourself. You have to be able to be yourself in the association.
Mm-hmm.
You're an individual. You're all different, so you have to be able to be yourself in whatever association that you find yourself in. Yeah,
But yeah, I was going to say that a lot of times I find that people are intimidated by people
true.
in the sense that Mimi says that's our cultural norm. One has to feel like a superior to validate themselves. Thank you for that. Which is true.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
terrible.
okay, you may meet me and I'm somebody who's always doing something, go, go, go. And so you say something mean just to clip
Mhm.
my wings.
Mhm.
And if you
Yeah,
don't know who you are, you'll stop. You
start
go, oh,
believing it.
oh, what happened? Oh, start believing it. So this is how we
Yeah.
bring each other down, and we are
Yeah.
not developing at people rising to the top
Right.
because of some of these attitudes that we have.
Right.
And it's important you came in and brought the perspective of equality, because this business of people feeling higher and lower, sometimes you
Mhm.
go into a group and then one person thinks they are the kingpin or the boss lady or whoever. So I feel no
Everything they
other
say. Mm.
like you have to go and pay homage, and others are, oh, mommy see, hey, mommy is me to a mommy. Oh." So, yeah. So
Yeah,
just the
that's true.
dynamics, just the
Mhm.
dynamics. Hey, MBA, Pacho, what does that mean? Maybe I
Oh,
actually.
me buy I say yeah. Oh no.
So it's like it's very difficult, the dynamics. And if you are somebody, she said yes. If you are somebody who does not know who you are, and you allow these things to go on, pretty soon it defines you.
Yes, and you lose yourself. And also,
Yes.
what I've found is that um, we shouldn't, those who are new in the diaspora, we shouldn't depend too much on the associations either for advice.
No.
We should be bold enough also to go out there and cross check things
Go
for
find it.
ourselves, because
Yes.
even in career choice,
Hmm.
everybody will tell you to do a certain, because that's all we know,
Yes.
a certain career, but not
Hmm.
everybody is cut out to do um, that particular.
The
And
same
an
thing.
example is nursing. It's a good career, and
Hmm.
financial wise, it's solid, but not everybody is cut out to do it. So if you you allow yourself to be pushed in there and you're not happy, I know if I had gone in there, I would not be happy. I'm just
Hmm.
not cut out for that.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
yeah. So you need to also know who you are, what you want to do, and then
Hmm.
see where there are a whole lot of opportunities out there if you
Yeah.
really look. Yeah. Um.
Mimi says the term "my small girl" and "my small boy" grows. We have to stop that and push ourselves. Also, respect people of all professions, financial status, etc.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Yes. Yes.
I was going to say this business of finding things for ourselves. I remember saying that years ago. I
Mm-hmm.
went to live in London, Ontario. I moved there with my cousin. So the
Okay.
next day, our friend that we were staying with, I go downtown to the unemployment office, whatever. Well, that will be Service Canada now,
Right.
in London, Ontario. So he sees me and he's like, the friend is standing behind me and he's like this. How did you get here? And I said, I called a number and they told me which bus to take.
Right.
He was so shocked that you got to the place yesterday. The next day you are standing downtown going to ask. I said, some of us, that's how we are.
Yeah.
So Ajua says, great insights and different aspects you are making, Sister Ajua, Sister Boatman Russell. However, due to double standards, hypocrisy, victimization, lies, manipulations, constant disrespect based on the levels of emotional intelligence and understanding, that will not come to pass. Because we have a long way to go. We do indeed.
Do. We
And
do.
Mimi says we Africans are not exploring much of the opposition opportunities available here. This
True.
is
Very true.
at the very
Very, very
beginning.
true.
I said it that we don't explore like these examples that we are giving, right? So yeah, maybe let's move into the resources, and then later on, if some of the other aspects come up, then we will
Okay.
talk about it. For me, this is the example that I made. I have a dear friend who came here as a refugee.
Mm-hmm.
There was war in her country and all that. And
Yes.
my girls, she knows us quite well. So I tell my girls that I'm pretty sure that my friend
Mm.
knows more about Canada than I do. Because for me, it was a matter of, like I said, when I turned 18, my dad started renewing my passport. I finished uni. He said, go to Canada. I'm like, go, saying, I'll go to the question, because you didn't need a visa, you didn't need any. I'll go to the embassy and that question. They'll look at me like, just go. I'm thinking, huh? So
Mm-hmm.
look at me and look at that person,
Right.
because they are taught, they have to know. Do you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I
So
get it. Yeah.
in the sense of when we are making a decision to travel somewhere, maybe it's very few people who will sit down and research and find out the culture, the norms, and the laws of that place.
Right.
Sebi, so offense you so an alcohol desert, what will make you think, say, I mean, even not even that, most of us were not, um, you
Just
see,
not a part
yeah,
of,
yeah, we
I don't
grew up a
know.
certain way. And I figured that since I came here, it's when I had to change my mindset because we were spoon fed school, chew, poor pass, you don't know
Yes,
anything
I
to
was
do.
going to say that even the educational system,
Yes,
we don't really
we
put.
don't think for ourselves. So
Yeah.
I just got up and I came. But then, right now, if you are moving to this place, like for me, when I'm talking of resources, you have to think, okay, your family, the driver's license thing that you said is so important, right?
Yes.
So I know of somebody that when he was buying a home, his kids were not here yet in the
Mhm.
country. And so
Right.
then you go and buy a home in a place where the bus was not going there yet.
Oh.
And if you have, when your kids came, they had to be walking to a certain point to connect. All these
Right.
things, when we
Right.
are making decisions, we just don't really think of ourselves.
Mhm.
You have to think of the family, everything. So, in terms of what do you call it? When we talk about education, for example,
Mhm.
you need to decide, like, what schools are your kids going to? Do you know what to do?
Mhm.
What schools are your kids going to go to? I remember saying that in when my kids were younger, and maybe for me because I was working, I would go to parent teacher interviews in the evening. So what I'm saying, maybe I could be speaking in error because maybe people going during the day, but a lot of times I wouldn't see Abby before. It's
Yeah.
abroad so that I'll see. Even in junior high school, even when I look at my daughter's reports and they are done so well, I say I can't make the excuse and say, "Oh, I don't need to go talk to a teacher. I show up anyway.
Mhm.
You
Right.
have to see you."
Yeah.
So some of these things we don't know. Presence, your presence. When we talk of educate your kids, listen, we have to be honest here. We have to be real. Having being a black person comes with a lot,
Mhm.
but don't use that as an
Yes.
excuse for um your own should I call it uh,
I don't know.
lack of will to push in life. If you are
Right.
sitting and you are not following up on the notes from the teachers or whatever the school is doing, or even if somebody is calling your child names in the school and you sit down and you don't follow up.
Mhm.
I've said time and time again, I'm sure you remember, anytime anybody called my girls the N word, I called the school principal and
Exactly.
he dealt with it because I'm not going to sit there and let them think that it's okay, they should accept that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Remembering that whatever decisions and things we are doing, it influences the younger generation. So you can't sit there. So if you're the adult, you are so timid that you are building that into your child.
Yes.
And
Yes.
here you can stand up. Start dresses and maybe before we place a funeral about their children's parents teacher call.
True. Sadly.
No, no. So even where do you find information? Like, where do you find information on these things? Like,
Mhm.
yeah, Mimi says we are their mentor.
Yes.
Like if you want to go back to school, we're talking of there's elementary, there's junior high, there's senior high. So you have to be in tune with what's going on with your kids, their
Mhm.
curriculum. We're just touching broadly on things, but um, you have to know the system. You have to
Yeah.
know the system. If you are a parent and even maybe um, it's the English, my Nana at the hospital, sometimes people come and they ask for interpreters. Because it's a children hospital interpreters.
Oh
When
yeah.
when will we come to the point of understanding that our lack of knowledge or not understanding the English language is not anything to be ashamed of? It's not being dumb and ask request for an interpreter
Yes.
to make
Exactly.
life easier for you.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
thing is, yeah, I remember back in the day, talking of language skills, back in the day, I would go to the library and I would see Chinese people as Asians learning, they are being taught English. But we,
Right.
because I'll use this statement again, because we come from a shaming culture and we think English is our language and we all laugh at people who don't speak it well.
Yeah.
We are too proud to humble ourselves to go
And learn.
uh, and learn. Let me read the Kura's comment. She says, I once told my mother that she's enabling my ability to think for myself. When I traveled and had to think for myself, I really struggled. But I appreciate the growth because now I can see the maturity. You are talking my language. When we all
Yeah.
leave, I hadn't been anywhere before. Then, boom, I had to come outside and live.
Mm,
You got to think for yourself
yes.
and do things for yourself. And people always go, how could you? How did you do it? You just moved for yourself. And I'm like, yeah, I came. You had
Yeah.
to do
You
it.
had to do it. Yeah.
Sister Adjoa says they are interested in showing their new funeral outfit to public and the topic of discussion about them.
Sajwa, why?
And the
Why are you hitting on our funeral?
Adjoa, please stop shaking those tables, okay? And Mimi says building relationships with the kids should be top priorities. Oh, this will also create that trust for the child to confide in their parents. I was talking about this earlier, that we are so hey, 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 and then we bring it here, always doing hey, hey, hey. Mimi, Ajua,
The
Mimi says your
funeral hate?
funeral. Oh my gosh. Yeah, do you have anything to add on the education bit? Mhm.
Mm, um. Well, you said it all, and what I want to add is that I know in Canada there are a lot of resources for newcomers.
Yes.
So yeah, even if you Google just newcomers, you see a lot of resources.
Hmm.
Even like the English thing, getting a job, even like they have a lot
Hmm.
out there that we can use. If you're yet to learn the English language, you can get your
Yeah.
kids or maybe your friend who I think that um some of them also don't know there are things like that. Some would like to take advantage, but they don't know,
They don't. But
yeah.
yeah, we are not a people given to find. We don't look for information. We even when you go and tell the person, also, oh, I'm afraid. Oh, like you tell them, but they'll just sit there because that's how
Well,
we are. We
true.
just
Some of,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you were talking of work. I was coming to that. Like with
Okay.
work resources. Like there's job
Right.
banks.
Yes.
There's labor market information over here in Canada. When you go to Service Canada, their
Mhm.
website, or even you go in person, right? They have
Right.
work options. They show you how to find work. You need to be aware of employment laws and standards. And then
Mhm.
also they have resources for people with low literacy. We're talking about the English or not. Don't say I don't know. Media manco school. I didn't go to school. No. And then
Mhm.
there's also career services in Alberta. They even
Yeah.
have self-employment information and then things about networking. So
Right.
there's a labor ministry in whichever province you live in Canada. Look, the thing about it is if you want to seek information about any aspect of life, you have to think of which department handles that. There
Yes.
could be, oh, okay. Even Mimi says, please use keywords when Googling so you can find
What
what
you're
you are
looking for.
looking for.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Yes.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, Google. I always make, yeah, haven't you heard me say Google is my best
Google is
friend?
my best friend.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's at your finger,
True.
and yet you sit
True.
down in ignorance, right? So
Mhm.
even like these jobs, you go find them, and then even resources like how to write your resume. Even
Mhm.
if you Google, they'll show you samples online that you can tailor your resume to suit, and they'll even teach you that it's not. Some of us, when we came, when you put that you have a degree on your thing, they don't look at you, so you have to take it out and write a different kind of
Depends on the job you're
resume.
looking for, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Tailor
All these things, right?
made.
Sister Joy says, because, where is she? Because most people within our society communities value, she's also on funeral hating, value the dead than when the person is alive. Some even plan their businesses around the money they'll receive at the funeral. What kind of people and families are some of us related to by blood? Yeah, Ajua. You know, hitting.
however,
Hmm.
when it comes to death, the important thing that we have to do, we don't do it, like insurance and stuff. When
Yes.
you mention death, it's like you want to kill them,
Yeah, last week,
although it's inevitable.
yeah, 2 weeks ago, Sister Eunice and I,
Ultima.
she was talking
Okay.
about,
Yeah.
plan. No, you want
Yeah.
me to die? Yes. The next
Yeah.
aspect in terms of resources is health. You have to apply for your health card. You have to find a doctor.
Right.
There's mental health supports like, back home in Ghana, we don't have that, and then we don't talk about it. But even it's not like we're saying you are crazy, so go and seek that. But
Mhm.
there's resources for well-being. You have to find these and
Yeah.
use them, get involved,
Yeah.
right? Or maybe you
Yeah.
may even have a child, maybe who's autistic. You have to know where to go, things like that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then also there's family and social supports. Nobody is saying that you've come here, so boom, you are going to go on welfare and get a check. But
Yeah.
things happen. There's hardships in life. You just have to know where to go.
Right.
You have to know where to go for what. Even information about housing. You want to go rent an apartment, this and that. You are new to a place. And like we said, sometimes you don't have to be listening to just the people around you.
Mhm.
Find the information online or go to an office. There's information. You call a number, you make an appointment to talk to a counselor, whoever in that office too. There's networks available. We're talking of people who are thinking of moving here. People are already here. We are here, but we
Mhm.
don't know some of these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, please, can you talk about the resources? I'll be back in a jiffy. Like,
Oh
carry on.
boy.
Well, take it any which way. I'll give me 2 minutes.
Okay. All right. Oh, we've talked about a lot of the resources. Okay. What I can talk about, yeah, I was thinking about it just last week. It's the mental health one. Um, I did put a link actually in my book. There's a website. Maybe later I can put it down here. There's a website that um, assesses your mental health and gives recommendation and stuff like that, and it's all free. I'll put it in later. But we all go through this mental health, downtime. Sometimes you get up, you just don't want to do anything. So mental health is not really um, about being crazy as people want us to believe, but everybody goes through some form of, um, you know, downtime at every point in time. And especially for those of us who have traveled, some don't even have any support system, and that also doesn't help. So, if all these resources are there and these are free, why not? Because I know a lot of people who are working, they have benefits and they can actually get all these resources free, but they don't. They don't even use them, and yet they are being only they will accept they have mental illness.
Yes,
Well,
Eunice is right. We don't
it's
accept
true.
it.
It's because of
Yeah.
how we see it. You know,
Hmm.
it's not really about craziness. So let's get that one out of there.
Hmm.
At yeah, at a
Hello,
point I
Pastor
I
P.
knew. Oh hi, I knew I needed to talk to somebody because sometimes it's just even offloading whatever it's bugging you because
Hmm.
you can't. Um, sometimes you can't trust even the circles that you're in. You can't trust that it won't get out there, whatever that is bugging you, and you don't
Yeah.
want people to know it's
Hmm.
confidential. You can't trust. So some of these things, yeah, if you get a therapist to offload it onto,
Hmm.
it helps. Yeah. Something crossed my mind, but it's gone away again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a lot of things on my mind coming back, but it went away. But the important one thing that I wanted us to talk about too is that sometimes, remember COVID time?
Mhm.
Um, this is what the thing that was going on that, people could be in abusive situations and you have little kids now who have to be at home in those situations because they can't go anywhere.
Right.
And with us, because of cultural norms, because of you know, the society, the church, this, that, what
Right.
people will say, we tend to stay in these situations. But you have to understand that whatever you do in the home, in the school system, the teachers are very alert.
Mhm.
They notice these things, they ask questions, and
Yeah.
even without them asking, your child can also go and say something. Teachers
Right.
observe, and so if something is going on, the authorities will come in. So if
Mhm.
you are in a situation where you think you need help, it's better to seek these resources and ask for help ahead of time, because you
Yeah.
don't want to go in the system when they've come to apprehend your child or something. When you lose your child, it's going to be very difficult to
Difficult to get
get
them
them
back. Yeah.
give you requirements that you have to follow. And if you don't follow through, your kids could be lost to the system forever.
Yeah.
That's one area that we don't educate ourselves about as Ghanaians, because we think in the culture we are the adults, and whatever
Mhm.
I say, the kids listen. So you are going to be the child, or you are going to grind pepper and ginger and put it in places where they shouldn't be going. And the
Mm.
child will go and tell on you, and you'll be in trouble. So we feel
Right.
like we are so stuck in that mode of I'm the adult, that cultural thing, that we don't want to loosen up a little
Yeah.
to be objective, look around us. You are not in the same place anymore. You are in a different environment. And here
Mhm.
they pay attention.
Oh
They
yeah.
pay attention to kids.
Yeah.
Hello, Richmond. Thanks for joining us.
And the
And
kid doesn't even have to say directly that this is
no,
what is happening. There are some trigger words that they might use without
mhm,
even realizing it. That would,
yeah,
let the teachers, you know,
yes.
also
And
share.
the other thing too I wanted to talk about in resources, it comes to me sometimes as a parent, when your child is young, you start to notice some developmental delays or something, they can't read properly, something is going on with us, right?
Mm.
Again, back to the shaming culture thing. There's things we don't want to talk about, we don't want to address. But oh, oh, okay. Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for joining us. Nice to have you here. I thought the name looked familiar, but I wasn't sure. Yeah. And so, what do you call it? Um, there's
We're talking
resources to
about
get a child
delay.
assessed.
Yeah.
Don't sit with it because of shame. Oh, my child is slow. My child is this. Whatever it is, that is what it is. It's the reality. Deal with it for the child's future and for their benefit. It's not
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah.
We need to stop this. Oh, yeah.
You
At
said?
least let me be praying about it. I saw something, a video of a very sick child, and the mother was sitting in a prayer camp giving the child sobolo.
Oh.
It was all over on social media. Yeah. And Mimi says, we as parents have to ask for help with developmental behaviors from professionals. In the UK here, you go to public health nurses. Exactly. Knowing where to go.
Where to go?
Don't,
Yeah.
yes. Don't be like, it's for me, it's unconscionable that you can come from a place of maybe supposed lack, right?
Mhm.
If all these things were there, we wouldn't transport ourselves to come and live in these places. You've come here and the information is here, the resources are here, and you refuse to take that step. That
Mm.
breaks my mind. I'm like, what? You
Right.
know? So those things with the kids is very, very important. And then the other thing to watch for is bullying.
Mm.
Sadly, a lot of times it seems like when it comes up, even it's not really dealt with per se, but you need to be, if you're observant, you need to be watching your child and
And,
watching out for changes in their, attitudes,
yeah.
behaviors. That tells you a lot. Yeah.
And be ready to be their advocates, because you
Yes,
will have to go and fight the school system, because usually they also ignore those things.
they
They
do.
let it go on till it's too late. The kid
It's extreme.
either commits suicide or
Yes,
whatever. Yeah.
yes. And this is the thing, that we know how to come and fight on social media and insult
Mm.
people. But when it comes to going to stand before the Obroni man and speak, we think they are some God be, so we are less than, so we don't have the confidence to go and face them. I've said before, yeah, I think last time I said it somewhere. I said, sometimes we sit there and we say, oh, I can't speak English, oh, I have an accent. And sometimes you go into an office and you speak. The person heard what you said, they're going, pardon me. And then I take my time and I speak slowly.
What?
And then one by one, and then they look foolish. They heard me the first time.
Right?
Yeah. Afi says, when my daughter stopped talking, I did not tell anyone. I went from click to click for them to rule things out. Now she's talking nonstop. Okay. You go and look for like, yeah, this is the
Mm-hmm.
thing. The
Yeah.
information is available. Everybody, look, even you don't even have to go to a laptop. Everybody has a phone.
Yeah.
Just look for the information.
Yeah.
Anything is Googleable. You look for it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, anything else on resources? I think I hit the main ones. Oh, and
Yeah.
Mimi says on bullying in our culture, parents bully kids. So most of them can't see why they should fight. Thank you. It's not even, we bully each other all around.
Mm,
It's on TikTok now.
all
Richmond
around.
says sometimes do people project the failures we saw in our home countries and assume it is the same here. So we may not seek for help for things that could be done here. That is true. And then we sit there in our ignorance and say, oh, yeah, it's not possible. Mhm. Hey, insults there. Some people have a Pro Max master degree, some people have such poor. So this is a huge conversation, even with the health stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Health.
Yeah.
I just remembered something, especially for the men. Okay, you are
Yeah.
sitting here in a brochure. You need to go for a physical every year. If something is going on in your body, go and get it checked out.
Yeah.
Go and get it checked out. Yeah, here I have my healthcare card. Do you pay for a doctor when you have to go and see pay money?
No.
Go book an appointment. Go. It's right here, and then we sit there and go and work all these hours, working 16 hours, 20 hours to go and build that funeral home. And then before you know it, we said that something has happened, point or call. And we go, oh, or the ignorance. You may be sitting here and then you say somebody has a condition and you can go to the hospital and get tests run for that situation and you say, me kogana koye bibidro. And then you go and do the bibidro there and you die. There's
Hmm.
a place for bibidro, but I'm saying that you are here surrounded by the, you know, advanced technological innovations in health. And so
Yeah.
anything you go into a hospital situation, they will diagnose it and tell you what is going on with you, but you sit in ignorance and you don't. Mimi says master's, PhD, PhD insults. So, we've talked a lot. Basically, coming to a new country. You see, let me give an example that here, because of the freedom, even in Canada now, Mr. Trudeau allowing people to put up stores and sell we and this and that. Have you noticed that these countries that are so liberal, when they go to some other places and they go and do the weird things, and then they end up getting jailed?
All right. So,
So
yep.
this tells you that when you're going to visit any country, you need to figure out what the customs, the laws, and
Exactly.
the culture
Yeah.
is. You can't just
Yeah.
go do whatever you want there. It's like somebody gave this example. Have you seen anybody, a man peeing outside here? You can't do that. There's something in Ghana, Ojina baby, are not so. Mimi says I do general checkups once a year. Yes, you don't need to wait and go
Yeah.
when something is wrong. Before I went to Ghana in November,
It's true.
no, it was December. My doctor gave me a requisition. He goes, so you are going to Ghana. So when you come back and you've eaten all the fufu and all that, then we'll do the test, right? My, my doctor is a Nigerian. He says his
Oh.
brother lives in Ghana and he likes it there. So after when I came back, I said, let me go. Mitchell, when he gives it to me, I put it off. I think I came back in February. Maybe it's April that I went to do it. Then he says, well, everything is okay. The fufu and the whatever
It's
didn't
gone.
do anything. Oh, Afi says there be Bidro without dosage. One size fits all.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true. That is true. So yeah, well,
Um,
last time I went so much, I didn't do promos, but I think this time let's do some promos and then we'll come back and summarize. But before we do that, so if some people might just have come on, we've been talking about diaspora living, the power of your associations. We describe what association is, the people you spend the most time with, and what does it mean? They influence your attitude, your behaviors, everything that you do. How
Right.
do these associations influence you? Are they making you grow or are they bringing you down? And then we talked about some examples, case studies of, people. I gave the example of the Nigerian in the apartment. Everybody was a security guard, and they were telling the guy, "Oh, you can be one, too. We can link you up for a job. There's no job for a baby. For this is all we can do." The guy
Oh,
the guy and the wife decided we don't need to be in these circles. They were still cordial to them, but they
right.
removed themselves from that situation. And so then we talked about awareness of resources available to you in the diaspora. If you're not aware, go find it.
Mm.
Everything is on Google. Let's see. Ekura says, I was raised to think that keeping mute was ladylike. So when you are talking, speaking my language, so when I traveled and learned to become outspoken, my family started to think I'm disrespectful, and I've picked up bad attitudes when all I do is speak up for myself. You see, we grew up where adults were always speaking up for us. You came yourself here. Is the adult with you? Is the same.
No.
You have to learn to speak up.
Mm.
It's a
Right.
must. Afi says, really nice topic. Thanks for sharing. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ajua says bullying is a major concern all around and we should not condone it. What we can do is to be proactive and not react emotionally to due to one's ignorant low IQ due to lack of knowledge. We can redirect and educate those who target the vulnerable people by holding them accountable. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then Mimi says a BB draw without research, in my opinion, they could worsen an illness.
Yeah. It's true. It's not done right.
Yes. So, as I was saying, let's see. The topic has been the power of your associations. Yeah, we've gone through all that. We did resources. So we're going to do the promos. Yeah, you can start.
Oh, yeah. I'm bad. Wait. The whole of this year, when you talk about promos, I feel bad because I'm not doing much to promote my book.
Yeah,
Anyway,
okay.
yeah, but it's not me. It's the juggling. I haven't really balanced things out. But anyway,
Mhm,
on my social media platform, every social media, and my handle is Adiara. So hence, and it's mostly about I get human growth in everything, I guess, because there's some financial stuff over there, and then
mhm,
I had my book, which is more on how to develop oneself and how it relates to yeah, and how it relates to parenting, because I feel like whoever you are affects how you parent, and we tend to project it on our kids, so you have to better yourself in order to project good things on them, or as they watch you grow. I
mhm,
mean, they watch you day to day, because kids learn by looking, not by what you tell them, but by what
mhm.
you are doing. So yeah, that's it. And my book is on Amazon. You can search with my name. I find that it's easier to search with my name.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
okay. So then, because of that, I'm going to talk about Authors Hub Y2A. So we're authors on a mission. Our mission is inspiration and empowerment. So that is myself. This is the old one. Ya Foda Atobra, and then Ya Boatma Boating Russell, and Sister Ajo Dosa Sumensa. She's the funeral hater in the comments. So there's a collaboration. We come on TikTok. We've just started recently. So we did a program last week. And so what it is that we talked about mindset last week. The next topic that we plan to talk about is sex education, the taboos around it in our community, and just like sexual health, I guess is what it should be called. So
Mm,
we'll be doing that. So basically, between us, we have 7 books, and this is Sister Ajua's book is Unveiling My Life, a guide to breaking free and reclaiming control of my life. It's her experiences of her childhood trauma and what she did to recover, and it's in the book. So please get your copy on Amazon. So here are all the all the books. So the Reflections for a Thirsty Soul is my first book. It came out in 2020. It's a faith-based book. Like I weave little stories, but use scriptures to explain. But at the time during COVID, you know what was going on. We were all running around like worried, frustrated, whatever was going on, a lot of fear and anxiety. So that book, it's you have to get it and read it. Yeah. The second book is The Beauty of a Woman's Heart. Women are always nurturing, taking care of everybody else because that's how we've been programmed. We were given a script. Oh, Obadia, Obadia. I say, I wrote on a TikTok platform one that said 100 years edikidon, wife material. So, it's like, but I always make the statement in this book somewhere. I've put that, you're a woman. Okay, you're a mother, you're a wife, you're a sister, you're this, but who are you? You need to find that before it's too late.
Mhm.
Especially a lot of us women in the diaspora where we could be doing great things. Even back home, it doesn't matter where you are. Well, my kids, we make excuses. If you're in the system, your kids grow to be 18. Mine started a long time ago when they were
Hmm.
teenagers and they went out to work. You're always on your own doing this and that.
Right. Yeah.
Somehow I started writing books and it kept me busy doing some of the things I'm doing now. They are young adults now, so am I sitting? They have their life. Sometimes they take off and go and do their own things. You also have to
Yeah.
do your own thing. So don't sit there and say that the society has programmed me that the most important thing that I can ever do is marriage. Marriage is an enhancement. It is a great thing. Don't get me wrong, but when you were born, I don't think God created you to say, Yara, so you came to marry. Ajodo, you came
No.
to marry. Mimi, you came to marry. Find yourself, please.
Your
And then
purpose in life.
yes, the third book is Refreshing for My Weary Soul. It's a devotional. I take a story and then talk about it. Like, when you talk about Naaman not wanting to go and wash in the river or whatever river he was told to go wash in, it's about pride. Yeah. There's a section in that book called Practical Nyamisem. For me, it's like I look at the way we worship in Ghana. All these things. Today I was thinking about Philippians 4:8. It says, think of things that are noble, this and that. And I said, we are reading all these Bible things, but our minds are not renewed. Into did we go or did we come?
Hmm.
That's what that is. The fourth one is Own It. It's a guide to taking accountability and responsibility for your own life journey. I'll say it again, as I always say, I wish I had a drone and money to pack this book into and just drop it over because the entitlement, the enablement, oh, come and save me, come and do this for me. Oh, if you don't give me money, my brother is evil because he doesn't want to help me. How about you help yourself? Yeah. And so the fifth one is My Unapologetic Self, a guide to living your best life and living life on my own terms, right? Because you grew up with certain values. Like I said, you come to live here. Are you cutting all the values over here? Will they help you, or do you need to take the good ones and make a change? You were programmed a certain way. Your parents said this, and you had to do it. You are an adult now. What do you think? You have to be unapologetic about how you live your life. I'm not talking about stepping over people and treating them badly, but owning yourself and living life to the fullest. So those are the books. Last but not the least, this is Auntie Yaa'S Own It Academy. So that's based on the Own It book, but we provide book coaching. I'm a ghostwriter. If you have a story you want written, DM me, come and see me. You can contact me at ownitbooks@gmail.com or just message Aya for that, and I'll get the message. So book coaching, you have to tell your story. I was Ajua Odo's book coach. So she worked with me to get her book published. And then I provided proofreading and editing services to Sister Yabuatma Boating Russell on her books. So a lot of times, was it a Kura who said she was taught, be quiet? If you start
Mhm.
speaking up and they think that you are being rude, you are being disrespectful. But we need to speak. Your story is your power. Your story is probably an answer to it's a solution to somebody's problem. You are sitting on it. So get to it. Come talk to us. Okay. And then also Sister Ajodo, like the three of us, our collaboration is on TikTok, Authors Hub Y2A. So when we're coming to do a program, we'll put a poster out. So, I think we'll try and go live on this Saturday. So we'll put a flyer out for that. Oh, yeah, you're gone. We'll put a flyer out for that. And then also, Ajodo does program, I think this afternoon at 3:30 p.m. 3:30 p.m. Eastern, she'll be on with um, Reverend Samuel Okoso. I'm not sure what the topic will be, but we'll share the video so that you see it. And on Sundays, is it 1:30 p.m.? Sister Jo, let me know the time because I think you've changed it. He comes on and talks about Abrabomus and any topic of interest. So patronize that platform. Also, we have Pastor Patience Edwards. She is an ASEA advocate. ASEA does any number of things, gut health. I take ASEA myself. It does things for you. Your body, it's just the nerves in your body. There's gel. There's the liquid that you can drink. Contact her for your needs. As well, she's a coach. Blue Bridges Coaching. I've done coaching with Pastor P. We were talking about how in our community we don't want to seek for mental health resources, excuse me, as well. We don't like to invest in ourselves because it means forking out money to pay for it. You need to pay. You need to pay. Stop being cheap. It's the poverty and scarcity mindset that we have that is stopping us. Pastor P will help you walk through the issues or whatever challenges it is that you're having. She won't do the work for you, but she'll direct you, she'll coach you, and she'll tell it as it is. You need to own your life and live it. And just because I went for coaching for Pastor P, somebody will say the blah. No, 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 no. You need to work on yourself, own it. So yeah, that is what is going on. Mhm. I think that's all the time we have today. Next time, let's see. I'm sure I've made some comments. Mimi says marriage materials by the Ghanaian societal measurements. I'm not even polyester. I like that. Mary Edwin says, wonderful books to read. Thank you. They're all on Amazon. Check them out. Mimi says, truth is the world always adjusts to us. So be you, be unapologetic, free yourself, and live to the fullest. Oh, please say that again. And Ajwa says, yes, so when I hear some people talking about marriage material, I ask myself, who are they to judge and decide who is or not a marriage material when many of them lack different aspects and understanding of marriage? And then Pastor P says, yes, own it. Mr. Ajwa says, Sundays I do live program at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So that's 1 p.m. Mountain Standard for us. So figure out the time for Ghana. Yeah. And then Mary Edwin says, we'll definitely order mine. Please do. Pastor P says, all the books from our beautiful women are worth reading. Indeed, they are. Thank you. So, yeah, yes. Any final comments?
I guess we've said it all. We've talked about the importance of associations. So,
hi, we're wrapping up. Nanako say.
He's now coming.
Yes. Mimi says, sorry, I says, is it always religious or you tackle different topics? Oh, different topics. This is not religious. It's just I brought something in, yeah. But we tackle different topics on this platform. And there's videos, like you can go through the page, Auntie Yaa'S Book Corner, see the videos, the different things there, yeah. Okay, please carry on.
Okay.
Nanako says he likes your laugh. Oh, you were listening. Oh, okay, no problem.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I just wanna, since we've talked about the importance, I just want to talk about the need to not just let everybody into our lives, but be selective about it is very important because associations are supposed to, boost your confidence instead of making you feel less off. They're supposed to help you in your personal growth. And so if your associations aren't doing that, then you need to,
get rid of it. You
Mm-hmm.
don't necessarily have to be part of a group just because, or just because others expect you to be in whatever group that you're in. And then
Mm-hmm.
also, what I didn't mention is that we need to learn to have, like, circles, because I have my inner circle and then there's an outer. It doesn't matter the number of
Mm-hmm.
layers you want to put, but yeah,
Yes.
not everybody deserves to have all of you
Mhm.
like that. Yeah. I guess that's all I wanted to say. Add.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about diaspora living, who your the power of your associations. If you have one life to live, you have to be living it purposefully. You need to be impacting others and others impacting you. And your circles change depending where you are at. I used to be in certain circles. I'm no longer in those circles. Now I'm in
Mm-hmm.
this beautiful circle of women.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Anita. How are you? There's some group of Ghanaians in diaspora are lousy, and one needs to be careful of them. That is the absolute truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. So, yes, um, we've said a lot. And the thing is, your life should be important to you. If
Mm-hmm.
you value your life and you value yourself, you will put processes in place to make sure that you're always growing and becoming, always moving to the next level. There's no point in ever staying stuck.
Yeah.
And even if you won't make any plans or take advantage of the system in the diaspora, educate yourself for the sake of your kids. Even if you don't have kids, there's kids in your circles. You may have friends who have kids, or you have relatives who have kids who may be looking up to you. Make an impact. These behaviors of the pull him down, you see, I
Mm.
always say that your mind is your greatest asset. Put it to use, grow and develop yourself. You need to be willing to pay to invest in yourself. I've said time and again that anytime you see any free offer on social media, yes, the first session is free. Do make the time to go listen. The second, uh, at that first offering, then they'll give you an offer that you have to pay. It's up to you whether you choose to or not. But education is all around us. Build yourself up. You can't afford to live in ignorance. Sometimes when you hear people speak and the things they say, it makes your soul very, very sad that, we've come this far and think we think this way and we can't change in 2024. In 2024, where people think that women, educated women, have to be abused and insulted because they are educated, things like that. So are we back in the Stone Ages? At the same time, there's this report, I can never quote it, but I've mentioned that Ghana is one of 10 countries with the lowest IQ in the world at this point in time. I won't say that I'm surprised because of some of the things that we are doing, but the level of our intellect, our human resources, like how most people, there's brain drain. We've all come abroad, oh, and so
Mm.
what is being made to entice people to come back and help with the future development of the country? Look, there's personal things. Don't get me wrong, but as a community, who is our community? When we compare ourselves to some of our other brothers and sisters, they are pushing. Yes, our brothers and sisters, we call them 419, we call them this, but look at the good side. They are out there pushing, forcing. They won't tell you that I have an accent, so I won't talk. They are there and they are pushing. And we were in a timid corner. Oh, as for us, we are hospitable. We are very this, we are very
Yeah.
that.
I'm missing
No,
you.
let's become better. Let's become better. Develop yourself, grow, 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 grow. Okay. All right. So Sister Joa has put her program there. So with that, I see that we had a lot of newcomers today. I really appreciate you coming on to join us for this topic. Please do come again. We do program every second Saturday. So there's no next week likely will be on TikTok, but the week after we'll be back here. In my mind, I was thinking, oh yes, Pastor Piats, always growing to become the best version of yourself every day. It's necessary, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe next time we'll come back with an interesting topic for your. We'll appreciate if you'll come and join us. We'll put a flyer out. Um, there's no program this week, so the following week you'll see a program, and then you can come on and join us. Appreciate you all. Take care. I can't mention names because if I go through, I'll miss somebody. But thank you for your interaction. You've all made it. It was a fun time. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So take care. Have a good
Yeah.
rest of the weekend.
Bye, everyone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we stream lab. Okay, we do stream yard, but I'm just not able to stream to TikTok. So yeah, I wish
Mhm.
I could do that. Yeah. Thank you so much. Take care, okay? Thank you, Ekura. See you. Bye everyone.
Yeah,
Have a
bye.
fun weekend.